United States and using it for a couple of days, if you Google Fiat Pope Serbia, Fiat Pope Francis Serbia, nothing comes up.
Yeah.
They didn't put it together, so that I would expect, that if you Google that, it's for years and years it's going to come up. Pope Francis uses Serbian car, but it didn't. Another opportunity will come. Thank you for the information. Mr. Vladimir Cupic from Atlantic Group. Now, Atlantic Group we classified as I did as a local player, and we came to the conclusion it's a regional player. Tell us a little bit about your activities and why you are a regional player.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, and I'm very happy to be to have the opportunity to address the gathering. We are a little bit more than a regional player. We are present in more than 40 countries. We have 16 production facilities in 5 countries. We have 18 distribution centers. We're one of the leading FMCG companies in the region. To illustrate that, out of 10 regional brands, we hold 4. So the 40% on top brands is pretty much a good result, of course, next to Nestlé and their global coverage here pretty much nowhere. But we try to fight with multinationals like Nestlé or Mondelez and the likes, Coca-Cola, of course, PepsiCo and others. The company was founded in 1991 by Emil Tedeschi, and since then he grew it on a compound average growth rate of 28% to 700 million euro sales business, with EBITDA of just north of 70 million euros. These are the results for 2018. And the presences I would explain here. He started off as a small distribution company, went several hikes. The first one was acquisition of Cedevita. The second one, acquisition of German Multipower. The biggest one, of course, acquisition of Droga Kolinska, which put in our possession the brands like Stark, like Grand Coffee, like Bar Cafe, like Donatemge, Argeta. And it brought us to a position where we, as I said, hold 4 out of 10 largest regional brands. We employ in the region approximately 5.5 thousand people. Just in Serbia, we employ around 2,000 people. And we are, I would say, predominantly the regional company. When I say regional, I mean the market of former Yugoslavia, which is predominantly Slovenia, Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia. The largest production market, largest production facilities are in Serbia, then in Slovenia, and we have some production markets in production capacities in Croatia, Bosnia, and Macedonia. But we're also the regional largest distributor because we have distribution companies in all those countries, and especially Croatia is a home distribution market. So in that respect, we distribute very large principal brands which are currently on our roster.
And coming from where I come from, Turkey, I can only emphasize the importance of having local and regional champions that are global ones as well, or that are on the way to become global. Because if you have no domestic brands, if you're only functioning on foreign brands, it's going to be difficult in the future. So
no, we're a combination of distribution, which we're holding principal brands, and we have a strong production capacities of a strong domestic brands. I mean, the brands that we are talking about, which are among the top 10, are all domestically produced brands, regionally produced brands.
Excellent, very good. I'd like to jump into a few questions to all of you and ask you to comment on it. The first question will be for Ivo. Why your company has selected Serbia? Have there been any alternatives? You have ambitious growth plans. You've realized ambitious growth here, as we've heard from you. Was there an alternative to Serbia, or was Serbia the ultimate solution for you, for the region? Why did you come here?
Well, when we were trying to enter into Serbia, we were bidding with Telenor at that time for the second mobile operator. Unfortunately, we did not win that bid, and then in discussion with the government, we were able to get a new third license, and that's how our story started in Serbia. But the decision was that Serbia is a solid market. At that time, we saw advantages of entering into this market. And to this day, we are still very much focused, and Serbia is one of our strategic countries where we'll continue to invest, because now we have the next generation of 5G. And I can say that Serbia, we will be in our footprint, in our group, among the first countries that we will invest in 5G. Of course, that depends on the government decision how they will announce the tender for the 5G and what will be the rules and regulations associated with that. But we will stay here for a long time.
Now, Austria is a strong player in the region. We have lots of investors from Austria for many, many different fields. Do you feel that doors open wider and faster when you say, I'm from Austria, and on top of it, I'm from Telekom Austria? Is it easier to get into the market as if you would compare it, if you would be a small startup that needs to get the feet on the ground here? Being Austrian and Telekom Austria, does it make easier?
You mean to work in Serbia?
Yeah, to enter the market and to gain market share.
Well, to get a market share, I don't think that helps. To get a market share, it helps to have innovation and helps to have a good strategy. But if you put it the way you said it, we are from Austria, we can tell you that our majority shareholder is American Mobile from Mexico. And he's present in 32 countries.
Oh, yes.
So who is in the top 5 in the world. So if we have to say we are from Austria, we can also say that our mother is from Mexico and in top 5 operators in the world. But I think what is very important is to have a climate for attracting foreign direct investment, which Serbia has been doing that very well, very successfully. And for any company that would like to come in, it has to have a good strategy to achieve that and make sure that the market has an equal level playing field for everybody. And I think so far in Serbia, that has been the case.
Yana, you haven't established Nestlé in Serbia, we understood that. But can you think back on your first experience when you arrived in Serbia, on your first management experience, when you had to grab the market, when you had to capture the market, to scale it for your company and to just enter in it yourself? Can you remember that experience? How was it? What did you think? What went through your mind when you first had to deal and possibly also to fight with Serbia?
I will say that personally I arrived to Serbia 4 years ago. Nestlé had already a strong presence there. But thinking about Serbia, Serbia has 7 million consumers. Nestlé's purpose is to serve individuals and families. Here we have people whom we would like to offer our products. And in Serbia, Nestlé products been known for quite some time. So in this way, to enter a new market, it's always a challenge. As I was saying, we are working on a regional basis. So we have a strong hub here in Serbia, but we have a hub as well in the other countries, like in Bulgaria, in Sofia, or in Bucharest, or in Zagreb. But here we serve Serbian consumers, and we do everything to offer the products which fit the expectations of Serbian consumers. And in terms of a challenge, and always the challenge when you have the acquisition. So we had an acquisition of Centro Proizvod in 2011, and then this is a path when you integrate a new brand and you take care about the brand. You need to ensure that the brand has, first of all, evolving, growing with the quality, with high quality standards, and that consumers, they continue to be connected emotionally to this brand. So I think acquisition was an interesting part for Nestlé. But you know, we are selling here and supplying Serbia from very different plants because Nescafe is imported. We import chocolate, we import infant nutrition, and we produce locally. I think this is a good combination for Nestlé to continue growth in the market. Very satisfied with Serbia itself, with the market development.
And you personally
By the way, competition is always good. Because I'm now talking that competition is what foster innovations, that foster better services. It's very good for the market. Without good competition, hard to imagine how the markets would have been evolving.
Do you have enough competition here?
Oh, we have enough good ones.
Very good, very good. Dragana, first of all, I'm terribly sorry. Your last name, I might have gotten it wrong. Nikolic or Lukic?
That's the big enigma. Actually, it's Nikolic.
Okay.
But you know, my email address is Lukic because I'm longer in Roche than I'm married.
Oh, okay, so nobody made a mistake, neither the technician nor myself. I'm very happy to hear that. But we stay with Dragana, I hope that's fine for you.
Safe side.
Roche is a global company, you have lots of suppliers. My question would be, do you have suppliers from Serbia?
Actually, Roche in Serbia is here because of patients, and actually we are supplying from Swiss Serbian patients. We have local partners like Galenica, like Chemopharm, many distributors, marketing partners, also in some other supporting things we have to deal with here. The idea is that primarily we are here because of patients, and it doesn't matter because of the size of the state or the GDP or anything else. Roche is present even in much smaller markets, but the idea is to be ethical. So whenever, in what country patients live, actually we should provide them equal quality of treatment and the drugs. And if you ask me if Serbia is happy, if Roche is happy with Serbia as a market, I think that they should be proud, first of all, because we really have, as I already said, very well expertise in healthcare. But also today, if you want to treat patients properly on an innovative way, and that is, I can say, almost standard everywhere in the world, you must have a very strong IT. And I think those two combinations are actually very good for us, and that we are becoming more and more interesting for both sides, because actually we can kind of create a hub, and we are looking for some different also industries like IT. We are a member of initiative Digital Serbia in order to allow that we'll aim for digital hospitals, so to do it as it should be, like in US or Western Europe.
So digital infrastructure obviously is very important for a market. Are you happy with this, with the level of it in Serbia right now?
To be very honest, almost everything already exists, but it is not very well connected. So it must be integrated better in order to allow us the new models, business models which are present. To be very honest, Serbia already started with that in 2016, but now it is necessary to do much more.
To upgrade it. Yana, you wanted to add something?
I think that it's important, one important element to add here, you've been talking about the connection with their local suppliers, and I think this is one of the very, very important element of every company, big company or multinational company who is coming and settling in the market. So today we have on our production side, we have 52% of supplies are Serbian. And this is important, and this is part of the strategy. So when big companies are coming, so our target is to positively impact as well through involving smaller companies or involving good suppliers in our supply chain, we as well set a certain standard. So we've been already talking about positive impact of standards, about quality, about food safety, but then as well, when we ask a supplier to become Nestlé supplier, we will work together to bring the suppliers with their products on exactly on the level of standard that we, Nestlé, require. And not here in Serbia only, but everywhere, across the globe. And I think this is a very, very positive impact that all big producers have overall on the business environment. For example, here in terms of raw materials only, we take vegetables here, 39% of our ingredients are coming from Serbia. And I think this is an important part of our strategy, and this has a very positive impact overall on developing other enterprises.
And that's always the critical point of FDI. When we bring in foreign investors into a country, the public is asking with all right, what is it bringing to our country? If they're only going to import our raw materials and only use our labor force, then it, in the long run, might not make any sense. But if the suppliers are from the region, that's very encouraging. How is it with the Atlantic Group, Vladimir?
It's pretty much the same. We're scattered around the regions. In Serbia, we have Sokol Stark and Grand Coffee. Grand is probably more than 50% of the market in Serbia. It's an inherited position from the previous owner when it was Droga Kolinska. Of course, coffee we import. We still don't know how to produce it in Serbia. The same goes for cocoa, butter, and so these are the things that we have to import. Apart from powdered milk, everything else is bought locally. I mean, pretty much flour.
Also less costly. Also, it's a cost.
Yeah, it's not only about cost. It's about developing local markets. We have stable partners, which we use for supply. These are large companies because we're a large purchaser. We buy flour. We buy other products on the market. The other thing is we are also holding a small production of jams, fruits, various spreads and stuff like that, juices, in Igros and Kopaonik, and we know how important it is to establish relation with local small farmers to be able to produce. That is very difficult, and I think that's probably one of the elements which has to be taken special attention to, because probably that's the thing which is one of the most things difficult to develop. As far as that is concerned, I believe that cross-border trade, which in the region of former Yugoslavia, has been really elevated to the level which we haven't expected. But we still do have some probably, especially in border crossings. That's one thing. And we hope that in Serbia, just like in other countries, digitalization of the points of sale, so VAT and e-invoices, will come to life, because that will make everything much more transparent and much easier. And the impact of the regional or global producer on the local manufacturing is not only employing domestic resources. It's basically, I think one of the most important things is standardization. It's a requirement for high quality. It's a requirement not only for high quality at one point of time, it's a requirement for a standardized high quality over a long period of time. And that's been an issue in the beginning. And I think this has been overcome to a large extent lately. And we've developed, and Serbia has developed producers who are capable of delivering required quality over a longer period of time. The next question is got to be quantity. And that's primarily related to the growth of the capacities. That's also related to a little bit of investment cycle and the financial cycle. But that is, I think, the next story.
We'll come to the sales in a second. I would like to turn to a little bit to the government and the bureaucracy. Now, I opened a company recently, and I thought the first thing I need to do is to make a company stamp. So I did, and I have one, not only one, but I made two, only to discover that I don't need it anymore. So I was happy, and I lost 30 euros, but I think it was for a good cause. So the government is obviously playing an important role. I would like to ask Erich, since you're representing not only one company, but quite a bunch of companies, how do you feel